Dennis the Menace versus Eric Cartman. This should be interesting. So now we're going to be going ahead and look at another matchup with Dennis the Menace. So last time I did a matchup with Dennis the Menace, it was against Hard Henry, which you could go ahead and watch a video. But let's now compare Dennis the Menace and Eric Cartman. So first off, we'll start with Dennis the Menace. So Dennis the Menace is mainly just like a kid that, wants to play pranks on people and just cause a lot of trouble. Now, he's not really like deadly or anything like that, but I mean, he could have some equipment that can actually be deadly, even though like he's not really dangerous. He doesn't do anything dangerous at all. Basically, he's well known for, making equipment. Like, in one episode, he managed to build a rocket ship, but that didn't work out pretty well. He's also been shown to have some vehicles as well. Like, not like just like kid stuff like skateboards and like scooters, just like actual cars, like, well, cars or something like that. I don't know, but these look like cars. So I would say that Dennis the Menace is a child genius. But one thing before I even try to label him down as a child genius, he fails at school. That's the thing. He fails at school, but then he like manages, to make his own like devices and his equipment. Like it just doesn't really make sense to me. But oh well, it's just a cartoon, so it's not really gonna be like realistic, so I can't label him down as a child genius. But yes, his equipment are going to be very useful. Now, he also like has like a slingshot as well, and I think he also has like a pea shooter as well. But from what I've been seeing, people have claimed that, he has like done stuff like throwing a knife at someone, and he's basically fast enough to dodge lasers. Now, the main issue is that I don't really have any proof for this. I've never seen any proof for this, so I cannot confirm that this is true. However, I can confirm that, in some of the episodes, he has actually made some stuff. But here are now some sort of things that we need to know about Dennis as well. So, what I said there about him making, like, the working rocket ship, the thing is, like, it turned out a bit, like, let's just say, funny. And some other things that we need to discuss about Dennis the Menace is that Dennis is never shown, well, from what I've seen of Dennis the Menace, he has never been shown to get into any physical fights at all, which means that he has no fighting experience. Well, maybe he does, but I honestly have no proof at all. Also, most of Dennis's weapons are mainly just, like kid stuff, like toys, basically. They're not really, like, dangerous stuff. Well, of course, the slingshot could, like, do some actual damage, but that's just about it. A lot of other people have, like, claimed that, like, Dennis has done a few things before, like, taking advantage of people and stuff like that. But the thing is, like, I have no proof for that either, so I cannot really, like, say that, like, it is true. But now, let's just go ahead and just move on to Eric Cartman. So, Eric Cartman is kind of a bit like Dennis the Menace, I say. I'm probably getting this wrong, but I just think he kind of is a bit like Dennis. Cartman is like the kid that like is mainly like most of the time just up to no good at all, and is always trying, to like do something that, is not really the best. Now, let's talk about Cartman and what he can do and stuff like that. Also, one clear thing now, I'm not including like those powers and abilities where like in the movie, he got the power to use like electric shocks or lightning strikes or whatever. I'm not including that. I'm sorry, but I'm not including that. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about for Eric Cartman is, well, strength and speed. So for strength, like, I really don't know, you see. Here's the thing. I think, like, he's probably weak since, he does, like, take little hits and then he ends up crying about it. And as for speed, I think he can actually run pretty fast for, like, a fat kid. Yeah, but anyways, from what I've seen from both characters, Eric Cartman is a lot more durable than Dennis the Menace. There are some durable hits that Eric Cartman has, and that is, like, surviving being thrown under a bus and surviving a lightning strike. Now, here's the thing now, like, he did get injuries, but, like, here's the thing, he was fine afterwards. I know you could probably survive a lightning strike, but the thing about Eric Cartman is that I think he's more durable than a normal human. I mean, take Horde Henry as an example. Horde Henry survived a shell falling on top of him, but he got injuries, you see. And I'd say he probably recovers fast, I could consider that as durability, but I feel like it's also luck as well. However, with Eric Cartman here, he survived an electric strike. Now, the next thing we're going to be talking about is intelligence. Now, Dennis and Cartman, I feel like the intelligence thing, it's kind of like a lot similar. Because Cartman is no stranger to intelligence. Well, sort of. I mean, you know what? I shouldn't have said sort of, honestly. Now, I feel like Cartman is a lot more smarter than Dennis. Yes, I know Dennis can literally make, like, working devices and working vehicles. But Cartman can actually do, like, insane stuff as well. Yes, he doesn't build stuff. However, there is something that you should really know. In one episode of South Park called Scott Tournament Must Die, Cartman came up with like all these like plans, to get revenge on Scott. Now, the first one was just, just him like, trying to embarrass him or something like that. But obviously, that did not work. But the next one was just sinister. So he basically decided to go ahead and try train a pony to do something I don't want to say out loud. However, I don't think that worked out well. So Eric Cartman did something a lot more sinister. Basically, Cartman managed to kill Scott Tournament's parents and then cook them up into chili, and then afterwards, basically fed it to Scott Tournament. So basically, Cartman came up with this plan. When it worked out, he basically decided to go ahead and feed this kid his own parents and then embarrass him in front of his favorite band, and out of nowhere licks his tears. Eric Cartman, from what I've seen, is a lot more sinister than Dennis. I mean, Dennis usually is the guy, that like goes around, playing pranks and stuff like that. But even if the whole thing about Dennis like throwing a knife at someone is even true, that's not enough to basically become more evil than Cartman. I mean, Cartman, like I said, Cartman is the same kid that killed a kid's parents and then turned them into chili and fed it to the kid. Like, if you really don't believe me, watch the South Park episode of Scott Tournament Must Die, and then you would see it. Not to mention that Cartman has a lot more better experience than Dennis the Menace, as Cartman's criminal record is just like 10 miles long. I mean, Cartman has like committed like so many crimes, from murder to like genocide. Also, Cartman can get his hands on like guns and stuff like that, and I don't think Dennis can at all. Also, according to people, Dennis the Menace can take advantage of people, but even if he actually can take advantage on people, him trying to take advantage of Eric Cartman, I don't think that's gonna work on Eric Cartman at all. So anyways, who really wins in this fight? So I'm pretty sure the person that would come up on top would be Eric Cartman. I mean, Eric Cartman has like a lot more experience, a lot more durable. He has more deadly weapons, and even if we included preparation, which is prep time, where Dennis and Cartman make plans to attack each other, I feel like Cartman will still win. I mean, that's probably because, Dennis will probably come up with like a plan, to like, just pull pranks or something like that, or try like, beat up Cartman. But the thing is, we've seen Cartman come up with a plan that literally ended up with a kid's parents killed. And I mean, from what I've seen from Dennis the Menace, like, he's never shown to be dangerous at all. But Cartman, on the other hand, I mean, we all know that answer. Cartman's a lot more dangerous than Dennis. So yeah, the winner is Eric Cartman. So yeah, here's another video. Hope you all enjoyed, and if you have any opinions, like, leave them down in the comments.